So you're thinking about moving to the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you're going to move in. What kind of things are you going to do? Stay tuned. I want to tell you about the top thing for 2025. So what I want to talk to you about today is paint color. Every year there's a new paint color that is trending, popular, that kind of thing. When I meet with people at a listing and they want to know what should they do to their house to get it ready, very often it is painting your house a neutral color. So make sure colors in your house. I believe that people typically follow the 80-20 rule when they are buying a house. 80% of the people cannot see beyond paint and carpet. So if you have a green room, like actually green paint on the wall, green, and you would like somebody to move into that house, I bet 80% of the people aren't going to like it. So painting your house a neutral color is the right way to go. I'm going to tell you about all the paint colors here. So what you need to know is paint colors can vary. You probably do really want to go with a name brand and have a good quality paint on your walls. Typically, like a latex paint is $20 to $50 a gallon. An oil-based paint is $20 to $80 a gallon. Chalk-based paint, I don't know that you'll ever have that unless you had a child that want to have fun chalk walls. $15 to $40 a gallon, or you could do spray paint, but that's not going to look as good, so we're not even going to talk about that. I wanted to tell you all the different finishes first, because there's a lot of different finishes on paints, and people don't necessarily understand that all. There is a flat finish, that's usually the least expensive. High gloss is the more expensive. Flat finish paint is often used on ceilings and living areas. White satin or eggshell paint is the best for cabinets, bathroom ceilings, interior or exterior walls. Semi-gloss paint is the best for trim, or high gloss paint is best for kitchens, hallways, and doors. I personally like eggshell for a paint in an interior of the house. I don't care for the high gloss paint in houses. That's just too shiny. So think about that when you're doing it. I would probably compare that to whatever area you're in and what maybe a realtor might recommend. Again, you can always follow me below and subscribe to our channel, and I'll be talking about all kinds of things houses. The quality of paint does matter. It ranges anywhere from $15 to $120 a gallon. And when choosing paint, you should consider the surface you're painting and what you're going to do. So that matte finish is the least reflective, has a chalky texture when it's dry. Living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, to create more of a cozy atmosphere. However, it's not as durable as other finishes that might get washed or scrubbed. So eggshell finish, again, my favorite, is soft, lower luster finish, 10 to 25% gloss. It is washable and hides imperfections on the wall and makes it ideal for, some traffic in that room. And it can be susceptible to scuffs, so it may not be suitable for homes with small children. So those are the things you kind of want to think about when you're looking to paint a house. So the non-gloss finishes, again, or eggshell, satin, flat, and matte, and those are the things you want to look at. Eggshell is a little bit more versatile for what you're doing. And then what you want to know is the best thing to 2025 paint colors. What is the color for 2025? And what are the three main types of paint? The main types of paint are water-based, latex, acrylic, and oil-based. So you'll want to know those two when you're doing a project. So oil-based paint is durable aesthetically pleasing, expensive, difficult to work with sometimes, and complex to dispose of. Acrylic paint is durable, weather resistant, high-end looking, eco-conscious, and doesn't dry 100% hard. Water-based or latex paint is easy to find, budget friendly, easy to use, less durable, gets brittle, and chips with age. So think about that when you are doing your paint. And so like really latex is typically used on interior walls or ceilings. Acrylic paint is typically used for exterior projects or high humidity rooms like bathrooms maybe. Oil-based paint is used for high traffic areas like halls, around furniture, that kind of thing. There's also enamel paint, and that can be difficult to use if it's spilled. So, and it can be expensive, but that might be for like metal cabinetry, handrails, appliances, that kind of thing. If you're going to paint something like that, I wouldn't paint my appliances, just saying. But you might paint handrails, you might paint cabinetry, that kind of thing. And then there's chalk paint that we talked about earlier. It does need to be and it can be used on laminated wood, but it can look streaky. And so that is used on refinishing wood furniture. And then there is metallic paint. That may be, but may require some extensive prep, makes rooms look brighter, but it could be difficult to get an even application. And it adds a luxury feel, but it could be expensive. So you might see that metallic paint, you might see on trim, accent walls, furniture, decor, and decor accents. And then, so there's several different types of paint when you are doing it. Water-based is going to be the best. If you're covering like a dark color, you may want to use a primer with that beforehand. Sometimes you see a paint, like I've gone into houses where there's been, I don't know, maybe somebody smoked in there or other things. And sometimes people will do what they call, they'll kills the room. So that means they're painting with kills to cover that sheetrock and then put their regular paint on after that. And that is also very effective. And then interior paint, it's an endless array of colors, and you just want to use that inside on your walls or on your ceiling and interior finishes. Then exterior paint is designed to withstand those elements outside. So acrylic paint is best for exterior paint, for siding, shutters, doors, and exterior features. I looked at 3 different major paint retailers in the country, and I'd wanted to start with 2025 and the color capsule of the year. So we are with Sherwin-Williams right now. The colors of the year are, drumroll please, grounded. So that is a darker brown color. It's not completely dark brown, more of a medium brown, I guess you would call it, which is not a neutral color. Then you have the sun bleach, which is that grayish color that could look like grayish or with grayish, which is another Sherwin-Williams color, which can kind of go and look gray or, you know, blend with a brownish color. But it will, you know, should be super easy to work with, you know, a mix of colors. Then there's chartreuse. That one's new. So chartreuse is a new in color. This color used to be in the late 90s, I would say, and early 2000s is chartreuse. And now we're going to see that color again. And you might see that like in a kitchen or something like that for that chartreuse color. Next, for Sherwin-Williams, they're saying is this Behr. Now that is a more light brown color, and that will be a color that you might use specifically for an accent wall. or you might use it. I don't think you would paint your whole house with the grounded or the Boss hair. And I don't really think you would even do the chartreuse. So chartreuse I might see in a kitchen, but some of these darker colors might be highlight walls. Then white snow. White snow is more close to like a really great color. Certain houses, like nice neutral palette for people, and they can see, you know, hey, I can paint this wall. If it's nice and looks well painted and neutral colors, people tend to like that, and I see that time and time again. Next color Sherwin-Williams has, and I think this would be fantastic for like a mantle or something like that, or again an accent wall, is rain cloud. In one of my previous videos I did this paint color in one of my flips, and we made a feature wall, and the color was just like this rain cloud color, so it was really good. And then next is clove, which is a dark brown. So again, a highlight wall. You might put this for some of your trim. You might see this in other places as well, but this will be used in smaller amounts than like your neutral colors. Then your other two colors are more in the neutral family, Malabar, and that is a more warm, neutral leaning color going towards brownish. And then mauve finery, which is again more the gray. So you're seeing a really light gray, a little really light brown, or the white colors. And I would say of all these colors, the ones that are going to be neutral, if you're looking for neutral, is sun bleached, white snow, Malabar, or mauve fiery. What I suggest you do is you can get samples from these stores, you know, swatches or little, you can even order little pieces of the paint and put them up on the wall, and they can even be stickers. Put them on the wall and see how they look. Raise your blinds, see how they look with those, and compare, because that is the best way to do it. I've done a color like mauve finery before, and when I put it on certain walls, it turns out looking lavender or purplish, right? So if you're not into that, you may want to, you know, kind of test those colors ahead of time. And you can look at Sherwin-Williams.com and see all these colors if you would like to kind of investigate them more. Again, they do pill and stick samples, paint samples, or a free chip color, so you can look at those and see how that would fit. Next, let's look at Behr. I think you can find that at Home Depot, but I believe there are also Behr stores. And the color of the year for Behr, which I like this, they did one color, and their color of the year is like a deep ruby red, actually. So it is a pretty color, and you might, or a media room or that kind of thing. They do show on their website where they have it on maybe a laundry room cabinets or that kind of thing. I don't know if I would do that. They also are presenting it in a study. The color is called Rumors, and you can get it in satin or flat, just like any of the other paints I mentioned. But this, you could also maybe have this in a half bath or something like that. And this is a nice color, and we don't know if that's trendy or not, but it could be. It's not like really red, but it's almost like it's got some brown in it, so it doesn't become as bright as, you know, I think the burgundy colors had been in spaces that, such as I mentioned in the past. And so the other colors, the color trends, so they do have that Rumors as their colors, but then they also include other colors, their colors of the year at Behr. One of them is Wild Truffle. Definitely a highlight color as well. It is a grayish color, and you might even do that for trim pieces. You might do it for feature walls, that kind of thing. And there are several other colors that you can look at. They are saying are matched, but wild truffle is another color they are featuring here. They're actually calling it a brown gray. And again, I do think you want to get a sample of that before you go all out and buy a gallon and check it out. So that is what Behr is doing right now. So check those colors out, and you'll be able to go to Behr, Behr.com, and see these colors. Again, Behr's color for the year is Rumors. And most of these websites, you can take a picture of your room and say, hey, I want to use Rumors in this room. And it'll show you what that would look like and give you kind of a 3D experience on that. Then next is Benjamin Moore. So you can go more colors for 2025. And the colors for Benjamin Moore for 2025 are Cinnamon Slate. Now that is a plummy brown color kind of mixed together, and that's not so neutral. In the picture they show here, they use it on the mantle as well as the wall. So that kind of makes it all one color. I think in some settings that might be good, but in other settings that might all one color might be a little too much. And then you'll want to have lighting for all that, but you can get samples for all. And they do have different shades that they refer to in here. And let's see here. The different colors that they mention on their page are, they have Cloud Cover, which is kind of a light gray, Porcelain, which is more like a French gray, which is a little bit more neutral, warm color, but neutral, light. And then Chambord, which might be your accent wall or your highlight, or even could be a trim. And then they do show you different shades. Antique Pearl, which is exactly like it sounds, maybe a weathered white color, white to gray. And then a Porcelain, which is a little bit warmer gray. The Mauve Desert, which is a cooler gray, but darker. Then we get into those darker colors that might be used as an accent. So like Bison Brown, Pinecone Brown, and Chocolate Sundae. So these are all your, kind of featured colors for 2025. So you'll want to try those out. And there is also with Benjamin Moore, they have Mink Violet, Vintage Charm, Frozen in Time, Bonnie, Bone Newt. So any of these could be a feature wall, a trim, a molding around the fireplace. So check those out. I'd be happy to talk through these with you. You can typically look at these sites and get a paint sample. You can find your stores. You can kind of do a 3D tour of these. What I see mostly in houses, especially new houses, is going to be something like newer, lighter. We're not really seeing those dark colors in model homes or houses you're looking at when you're buying a house. Typically those houses that are more neutral are what we see. There are colors like grayish that I see that very often that could go gray or white-ish, but they kind of blend with other colors, so maybe a wood floor, they would blend with that too. However, gray is just not the color of the year, but that's one I've seen very often. Sometimes I see something in the gray family, like light French gray, and they will have color palettes that will have other colors on there, right? So if there's light French gray, then there may be a medium French gray on that same panel, or whatever the case may be. So you can kind of, you kind of want to stay in the same family of warm tones or cool tones when you are painting. And so having a fresh coat of paint is a great idea for your house when you're going to list it. So if you have any questions about when you're listing your house, let me know below. I will be happy to help you. I specialize in listings here in the DFW area, so I'm here to help you.